Welcome to Tailgate Talk. It's Ritter and Wags. Tasker out again this week. Again, thanks to our sponsors, Buck Rub Outfitters, Buck Rub Archery, right off Silverdale Road in Pewaukee. If you want to look them up, buckrubarchery.com. Always love the staff there. It was cool to follow along their socials with all the stuff going on at ATA and, you know, the Archery Trade Association, big archery show. As much as I love ICAST, I know, Eric Tasker, you get that FOMO watching all these things that are happening at the ATA.
Yeah, I think I sent that to you because maybe it was Friday last week, Friday or Saturday. It was kind of like as everything was wrapping up. I'm like, man, I really want to go to that sometime because it's just got to be so cool just to see all the new products and everything. And I mean, I don't know. Nowadays, though, you can get everything you need and not have to travel to it.
That's true. And I think ATA, much like ICAST, you have to be an industry person in order to be in. You have to be, you almost have to get invited to attend said event, which I'm still hoping someone will invite me or I'll find my way as media or something to get into ICAST in this next couple of years.
Maybe we'll go with Okayus next year, because a bunch of our podcasting buddies were all there.
Yeah, see, everybody that's been on our show, we've been on their shows. Like, where's the invite in that? No, yeah. I kid and joke in that. But again, thanks to Buck Rub Outfitters. I'm sure chat with them a bit about some of the new archery gear coming out in the next year on the show in the next upcoming weeks. We got a lot of stuff planned, a lot of great stuff. Again, also thanks to Bunzel's Meat Market in Milwaukee, a Milwaukee staple for many, 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 many years. They've got awesome monthly special. I love they do these monthly meat specials that actually save you a bunch of money. It's kind of the meat deal, the box. You get like a whole chicken, usually get some sausages, some sort of ground meat, some sort of steak or something. They do this whole thing. It's like $20 and it's this awesome package deal. Love Bunzel's. If you haven't checked them out, seriously, I cannot recommend their summer sausage any more than what I am right now.
Yeah.
It's like a staple in their jalapeno cheddar is a staple at every family gathering from Bunzel's.
So love to hear it.
Thanks to them. What was I just going to say? I got off track because I wanted to make sure to thank Buck Rub and Bunzel's before we really got rolling into things.
Well, while you gather your thoughts, one thing to just stay tuned with your show on our sister station FM 106, we're going to be doing our first responder program. So if we have any first responders that are listening,
that's right.
Bunzel's will be delivering, or maybe you'll see Mr. Ritter himself show up at your door.
We did a lot of those with the other station throughout last year. It was a lot of fun to get to go. Like I did, Wauwatosa Police Department. Yep. And obviously, being that that's the actual suburb city of Milwaukee that I live in, to get to go out with those guys and visit with the Tosa PD, West Allis PD. They took me on a sweet tour of their entire place. I did Milwaukee Fire Station. Was it Fire Station? Was it 58? It's like the far northest. They're like, I want to call them they're like the hidden stepchild. They're the one fire station that everyone forgets is even Milwaukee, and they're so far. They're almost Menominee Falls. If you're familiar with the southeast Wisconsin, Milwaukee area at all. But yeah, it was great to get out and, not only to, give back to these, great first responders, but then to get to, spend a little time and chit chat with them stuff and bring them this awesome food. So,
well, and you never know when you might need to call in a favor to Tosa PD.
Right. Or they'll be like, oh, so no. But yeah, while I mentioned that as well, other things we're doing, I want to get into this right away too, because we just launched as well the trip to Canada. Mm-hmm. Ballard's Black Island, where we went this past year. It was kind of a show trip between this show and the normal radio show that I do, inviting people to come and to join us, something I've been doing for many, many years. The ultimate Canadian fishing adventure. It is fully guided, all inclusive. Stepped it up. Last year it was 3 days of fishing, so it was 4 nights lodging, 3 days. Going an extra day this year. So to add that little bit of extra bonus, a little bit of fishing to make sure you fill your bags and fill the freezer and you get that extra, Friday, what I always want to call it, Friday fish fries, shore lunch fish fry, while you're up there. So it's going to be 5 nights lodging in modern cabins. Again, everything's all inclusive. Meals, beverages, which includes, you want to talk about the giant breakfasts and dinners that you had every single day?
Oh my gosh. I just, and you kept talking about the wild rice dinner.
Telling you the wild rice with bacon, it is showstopper.
It is so good.
I remember we were going up there because it was me and you and my buddy Brad. We're all traveling up together, and I kept saying the whole way up, I'm like, if they don't serve the wild rice,
I'm leaving.
I'm never coming back.
It was so good.
There needs to be that wild rice on my plate at some point in the next 4 days. And was it day 2 it showed up? And I was like, yes. And you guys were like, oh, and didn't quite get it. I think it was the one time that everybody's plates were completely empty.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, it's such a great trip because even if you don't have everything you need. They supply everything. If you're not comfortable setting up your rods and reels and everything, they take care of everything. So you just basically got to get there, and they pick you up from the mainland. They take you out to the island. What is it, like a 34-acre or 40-acre-ish private island?
It is a 34-acre private island. Full modern amenities, there's satellite TV and everything in the lodge.
Yeah.
I don't actually think I've watched a second of television.
Yeah, it's like
playing cribbage, chit-chatting,
Yeah.
having a good time. Again, if you want to hear about the full experience at Ballards and get like a full like what it was like from when we were just up there this year, Ballin' Out at Ballards is the name of the episode. Was put up August 25th on our podcast channel, Tailgate Talk on the iHeartRadio app. It's where myself, Tasker, we talk with Gary Moeller, the GM of Ballards. We're literally sitting in the lodge up there around a table,
awesome.
chit-chatting about the full experience. That was the final night before we left the next day. So go check that out if you want to hear more about what exactly it's like, but want to invite you to come join us again Saturday, August 19th to Thursday, August 24th. So it's 5 nights lodging in the modern cabins, like I said, 4 days of fully guided fishing. Everything's included. It is literally show up, catch fish, go home. That's all you have to do. You have to worry about absolutely nothing other than setting the hook and reeling the fish in. If you don't want to touch the fish, literally everything can be taken care of for you. Show up, set the hook, catch the fish.
Sometimes the reeling it in is the problem, though. So you just got to work through that. You just got to, as long as you can set the hook, the rest is up to you.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome trip. So, again, you want to check out info on that, blackisland.com. You can go under trips, or you can go to any one of our sites, whether it's 97.3 The Game, our main affiliate here, or my other station, FM 106. Use the keyword fish up in the little search bar. It'll take you right directly to the site to give you all the info, the pricing, more. But you really want to get signed up before it's sold out because there's only 20 spots left. We were sold out last year. I know there was a wait list, people trying to get in with us last year. So make sure you join us up in Canada. It's a really, really, really fun time. So that's all I'm going to say about that. We got to get into a lot of stuff on the show this week. Some controversial things. What's the show without us bringing some sort of controversy into things? But before we really get rolling into the controversy stuff, how's things been, Tasker? I mean, but we haven't been together since we did our last 100th episode out ice fishing. I mean, so take away from it. I think you said when we were recording that you're not sure it's really your thing, but like, would you do it again?
Yeah, I'm a social ice fishing guy, and I think that's all right. I mean, you and our buddy Rez that we fished with, you guys are probably going to fish, I don't know, a half dozen more times this year before the ice is gone. And that's fine. I want to get out when it's a jamboree. That's my jam. Okay. I'm good with that.
Remember last year we talked to, was it the Golden Beavers ice fishing team? They did. They do that big charity event on Silver Lake in Waukesha County, and Oconomowoc there to benefit, different kids with cancer or different stuff like that. I did just see they're doing their event again. I believe it's February 26th this year.
Okay.
So if you want to book that one, maybe maybe we drag Eric Tasker. I can probably talk Rez into joining, and we can do a little just go out. And that's like just a totally like fun for the kids like type event thing, but it'd just be kind of fun to be out there and see it all take place.
It's probably my level of fishing anyways. So.
And the post party is, and like the award or whatever, all the stuff takes place at Lucky Chucky's right across the street.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So
awesome.
Which every time I've ever fished that lake, because the parking lot for like the where you launch your boats and stuff, I've done some kayak fishing on that lake. Every time it's like the smell wafting from Lucky Chucky's is always so good, but I've never gone. My wife's been there. I've never been there. So
well, I haven't been there since they rebranded, but when it was still Silver Lake Supper Club, we actually had our rehearsal dinner there.
Really?
Yeah, because we got married right out there in Oconomowoc.
Okay. And, did not know this, Eric Tasker.
Yeah, and I don't know. I thought it was great. I mean, in the midst of everything that was happening, the 12 hours before we got married, I mean, it was great.
It's always such a flash, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, there's a few times that I feel like your life completely flashes and it's a blur and you don't remember. I feel like some hunting situations can be that way.
Yes.
Some fish catches can be kind of a blur, like just madness that can happen. And then your wedding day is always just a blur. Like you're like, oh, that happened. Oh, it's over. Well, what happened? Like, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just everything just flies so fast.
Yeah, I feel like vacations are like that oftentimes too. Like I feel like there's so much anticipation going into vacations that there's like so much time thinking about it leading up to it. Like we're doing our trip with FM 106 here. And it's like, you know what? We're going to be there for, I don't know, what is it, 7 nights, 8 days. We're going to be, coming and going on Mondays. And we were talking about it earlier in the week, and I'm like, man, it feels like there's just so much that's happening already that week.
Yeah.
That I'm like, I don't know that I want to do anything else. I would rather just have time to just relax, or it's not really going to feel like a vacation. And when you got all that stuff booked, then it's like, holy cow, it's like it's come and gone.
But when else, Tasker, are you going to be able to say that you went marlin fishing and shark diving in Cabo San Lucas?
Well, I don't know. Maybe 10 more times in my life. I don't know.
Like long before it was even like thought out in a plan and whatever that we're going to Cabo. I've always said bucket list, and I'm positive we've talked about bucket list things on this very show, like early on back, what seems like forever ago. And I had said that fishing tuna at the oil rigs out of southern Louisiana is like a huge bucket list for me.
Yeah.
And the other was fishing Cabo San Lucas, just merely for the fact of taking a boat past the famous arches, because you drive out past the arches.
That's awesome.
And I've always wanted to experience that and see that. So those two things have always been my bucket list.
Yeah.
And ching, go ahead and check that baby off. I'm looking forward to that.
All at once.
It's going to be awesome. So, mentioned ice fishing. The reason I do is because I found a stat that I think is mind-blowing, having to do with ice fishing in Wisconsin specifically, but I think it applies to all of the upper Midwest, of how things have changed, and we're experiencing it right now. So we'll get into what that is as we circle back. We'll continue more tailgate talk coming up here next. Bunzel's Old-Fashioned Meat Market is Milwaukee's family-run deli and grocer for 4 generations. Pick up prime cuts of meat, award-winning jerky, and homemade specialty sausages. They're open, so come on in or call ahead and they'll have your order waiting when you get there. Bunzel's famous meat deal for January includes 2 butter garlic chicken breasts, 2 homemade brats, 1 whole or cut-up chicken, a pound of lean ground chuck, and 2 chicken patties, all for $20.23. You can see all of their specials online at bunzels.com. Hey, it's Ritter, and if you follow my socials or listen to our show a lot, I'm sure you've heard me talk about how relaxing and fun archery is. In fact, my wife has joined me and got a bow of her own at the same place I did, Buck Rub Archery. They are your locally owned and operated one-stop shop for all things archery. With the area's largest inventory, they won't be undersold on any bow or crossbow. It's open to the public and the ideal place to find and test a bow before you buy. Plus, they also rent equipment, offer archery lessons, and have space for hosting birthday parties, scouts, or other events. And if you got an old bow that needs to be fixed, they can take care of you as well. Seriously, check them out off I-94 on Silverdale Road or buckrubarchery.com. Do you like fishing, but maybe you don't have all the equipment or know-how and still want to catch fish? We've got the perfect trip planned for you. We're inviting you to join us and the team at Ballard Black Island on Lake of the Woods in Ontario for a Canadian fishing adventure. We'll hook up trophy walleye, monster muskies, explosive bass, and huge pike. And the best part is, this is an all-inclusive fishing trip, fully guided. You'll stay in modern cabins, meals are all included, and this is really a no-worries, super inclusive, just show up and catch fish trip. Group of buddies, dads and kids, husbands and wives, girlfriends, everyone's included and gonna have a blast. Meals, beverages, fully equipped boats, plus the guide, it's all included. And this year, we're taking over the resort, August 19th to the 24th. To get the best rate and save big, you're going to book your spot before February 28th. But you gotta hurry up, the spots are filling up fast. You can get all of the info at blackisland.com. And let's go get hooked up. Welcome back to Tailgate Talk. Don't forget to follow us on socials at On The Tailgate. I am at The Real Ritter, as in fishing reel, R-E-E-L, R-I-D-D-E-R, at The Real Ritter. But I misspelled. I can't. I'm trying to spell it out.
I don't know what's going on.
I should just have an easier spelling. Wisco Bow Hunting is for Eric Tasker. Again, it's Tasker and Ritter. Wags out this week. He's actually off for Brewers Fantasy Camp.
Yeah.
Where the Milwaukee Brewers hold this big event where they invite people to come in that get basically live your big league lives. So, 40-plus-year-old men can go and, put on the cleats and the uniform and actually get out there and play in baseball games. Ex-Brewers players, a la Paul Wagner, come and actually coach them through things. So it's a really cool event. Again, we were just talking about bucket list. Bucket list for me some year to do fantasy camp.
Yeah.
I would love to experience
that would be cool.
Brewers fantasy camp. So I had mentioned that ice fishing, there's something that's different, and we're experiencing it this year. That's mind-blowing to me. This was actually a post that I'd seen from Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. They so, with the current warm winter weather, the stuff that we're experiencing, we talked a lot about that on our 100th episode while we were ice fishing, just, how things are different this year and ice safety and stuff. If you want a clear picture about everything that's going on with warming and climate change, you can say it doesn't exist and it's not a thing and whatever. But this made it like really sink into me. So since the 1970s, the ice fishing season in Wisconsin is 24 days shorter.
Oh, wow.
That to me, like, that's almost a month. That's where, like, that was the, it's like, okay, things change. Sometimes some years is warmer, some years not. But, like, when you look back historically and you go to the 70s and I go to now, I'm like, we've lost a month of ice fishing. It blew my mind just actually seeing that statistic.
So does that mean you get 24 more days of kayak season then?
That's a benefit to me, and that's what I was going to say.
There we go.
I was actually having the conversation with my wife the other day, and we were sitting around the table. I was like, because she took up snowboarding this year. This is her thing. She's like, I wanted to get into a winter sport, so I'm going to stay active. She's like, ice fishing's not really my thing, and she kind of wants me to have some things that are just my thing, and so we can, kind of both have our own stuff we like. She's like, I've always wanted to, like, I want to start snowboarding. So we invested, got it, all the stuff. So she's starting to snowboard, been on a couple times. She's like, of course, I'd be the person that picks to take up a winter sport in the 1 year we, like, have zero winter.
Snow. Yeah.
Right. And I'm looking at ice, too, and going, it's not a good year for ice fishing either.
No.
I mean, there's a lot of ice out there. We're lucky to have had that frigid, hard freeze before Christmas without snow. Had we gotten snow during that, we would not have ice. I'm confident we wouldn't have any ice right now.
Yeah.
Shorelines are a mess in southeastern Wisconsin right now with the warm weather. I know now that, this weekend's come about, things are much, we're actually making ice again at night. It's colder. Daytime highs are, right around that freezing point. So it's not so bad, but you really got to be careful getting onto and off of the ice. I bring that up as well because this weekend is free fishing weekend in the state of Wisconsin. So you don't have to have a fishing license to get out and fish. And I know there might be a lot of people that, try and take advantage of that. I've been out ice fishing on free fishing weekend before, and I'm always like, boy, this is the busiest that the lake's ever. Oh, wait, free fishing weekend. So it's great that our Department of Natural Resources in Wisconsin gives that opportunity to people to get out and try the sport and try outdoor activities. They do one during the summertime and the one during the winter. So now it's just free fishing, but I believe it's all state parks and stuff. You don't require passes to get in. So it's a chance to get out and explore state parks. Winter hiking is fantastic. And without having all the snowfall in the southern part of the state.
Won't be so sloppy.
Yeah, what a great opportunity to get out and actually be able to hike and see some cool stuff in the winter. So I hope that people can take advantage of it, through this weekend. But, man, it's the point, like, give me ice so I can ice fish or get rid of it so I can get the boat back out and start fishing.
So do you think there's going to be more accidents and there's going to be more rescues this weekend because of I don't know how I want to say this. I don't want to say lack of responsibility, but like kind of the careless nature of some of the people who don't do ice fishing more often, that they're like, oh, it's free fishing weekend. We're going to just get out. We're going to try and drill a couple holes and see what happens.
I think it's just experience. I think that's the right word for it, is experience with things. We always say we're not experts in the show. None of us are experts. None of us are pro. Like, we're not. It's not that at all. We're just normal dudes like everybody. We put our pants on one leg at a time. We wear boots. We use old crappy gear, whatever. Like, we're normal. Like,
every once in a while we get lucky.
But there's like experience. I've been ice fishing since I was little and doing a lot of stuff and experience on thin ice. And I feel like maybe I have a different thought or aspect of things. Like, I think back to the stuff that I was doing as a kid and like out with my dad, and I'm like, man, that's crazy today.
Yeah.
I tell the stories about driving across 2x6s to cross, 2-foot pressure cracks in the Bay of Green Bay, driving out in like cars and trucks. And I think that there's some part of that people think back to, like, oh, childhood, I did this, or, it's always people drive their cars out. And so that's like your thought. Like, I would say no one should be driving anywhere on any body of water in the southern part of the state.
Yeah.
I'm even going to say on ATVs at this point. Like, there was a shack that went into Mendota just the other day, this week. I saw a couple four-wheelers, but even to get on and off with, gear like that, it's a lot. I always err on the side of being cautious. Anytime that I've ever been out in vehicles after, when I was older, there was minimum a foot of ice before we drove. And I've even just went to now, I walk everywhere, with four-wheelers and all that stuff. A lot of times the guys that I've fished with too, everybody got away from, nobody drove out. Everything was it's just easier to bring the four-wheelers. It's lighter, it's easier.
Sure.
Even if, the four-wheeler just carries and drags, your gear out and you walk out. That's what we've always done a lot of. And so I think I don't know if people have gotten smarter over the years about it.
I was just going to ask that. So do you think that we just know more about like this is probably not the right way to say it, the capacity of the ice and like the strength of the ice compared to way back when we just, there's just more people doing research on that stuff now. So like, do you think that it just has changed from 30 years ago when you were a kid?
There's more information. There's definitely more information. Now we've got the float suits and stuff that are out around, which I will caution, all of the float suits that you buy, they'll float, but they're not U.S. Coast Guard certified float. Like they're not like actually wearing a PFD. I actually own a float suit that was made by Frable, it's the only U.S. Coast Guard certified float suit that ever was sold in the market. It's a little bigger and bulkier because it's basically like a giant PFD built into a jacket, and the bibs have flotation stuff built in, but mainly it's the jacket. It's bulky, and I think they stopped making it. People got away from it, didn't like it because it was bulky, but it is truly the only U.S. Coast Guard certified float suit. So I just, throw that out there. Like, don't think that because it says a float suit or that floats, it's like you can just throw caution to the wind.
Careless,
the water's still cold. You still don't ever want to be in the water. I always say just, you got to be smart. Use your head. Trust your instincts. You go around social media, but, early ice, it's always no ice is ever safe. And if that's a good mindset, I think to have, is no ice is ever safe. But then you get the people like, oh, that's just the guides telling you not to go on the ice. It's not safe till guides can get out. Like, I see so much negativity online with it.
Though.
Right. It's like if everyone just used their head and be smart. Like, if I don't feel safe, I'm not going. I don't feel safe. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because
what's wrong with, really, what's wrong with saying no ice is, safe, and that just to be cautious about it? Like, who cares? If you want to get out and you want to risk it for the biscuit, then
there's certain groups out there and things on social media that like to really make it a point to, drive that home and just kind of be negative about it, of like, oh, you don't say no ice is safe, look at this. And, then there's the others that are, always pointing and trying to poke at and rip on people that, are associated with companies or brands or it's just, you do you, I do me. Let's just why do we have to be so negative about things?
Well, is that like our common theme of the 2020s here? Is that we just got to keep battling with these people that are just so obnoxious?
Well, so I posted a TikTok, and we've talked about our TikToks again. Socials at On the Tailgate is, our socials. I'm at The Real Ritter, at Wisco Bowhunting, and that's for Instagram, TikTok, all of it. The TikToks that get the most views, the most attention, are the ones that have some sort of controversy or negativity in it. But anything that is helpful or just kind of goofy or silly or normal gets no views. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to post things that rile people up. But unfortunately, that's the only thing that works. So are we just doing it to work an algorithm, or is it that's the stuff that works because people are just generally only negative? You saw the one that I did just recently where I posted of the new custom build that I did for my Garmin unit that I can use on the ice. I basically built a custom thing where my UHD 93SV, I have it mounted to the bottom of the inside of the lid of a cooler. And so all my battery, everything stays in the cooler. I lift the cooler lid up, boom, it sits there. I can use it. Eventually, I'll add live scope, and I'll be able to put the live scope, module in the bottom of the cooler. Everything's self-contained, handle. Right. It's super sweet, super slick. I put a lot of work into building it. And I posted a video of that and just kind of showing a setting where you don't have to have live scope. You can still use that unit without having live scope, without buying the ice transducer. You can use your normal boat transducer on it. And I was just trying to show that, hey, you can save yourself some bucks without having to buy this extra crap. This is how I do it. You just have to change one setting in your unit. And I was just trying to be helpful. And I get people that are then bashing on the life jacket that I was wearing because I'm talking about float suit. Well, I wear that out, but then once I'm out there, I know it's comfortable. I'm going to take that big, bulky jacket off, and then I still wear my PFD that I wear in my kayak underneath it because it's nothing. It takes up nothing, but it's just an extra safety measure where in case, you never know. You step on a weird soft spot, then I still have some sort of float with me. and it's attacking that. It's just like, it was all this negativity. So I had to fire back of like, this is what I hate about that app. This is what I hate about social media in general. Is it's like those people that's all they want to do, and they want you to react. They want that reaction, and I hate that I fed into it. But I just had to like throw it out there because I feel like there's other people that can relate to like, God, why do people suck so bad?
Yeah, I think I've just kind of turned a new leaf on the whole TikTok thing. Is that unless I have, it's got to be a perfect situation for me to actually like get riled up about things, and it's usually Friday or Saturday night, about 11:30.
Couple beverages involved,
and then I'm no holds barred, where I don't care what people are saying, and I will just respond back, and I'll be a jerk back to them. But it's like, for the most part, most of the time, people have such stupid comments that just get under your skin, and it's like, what do you even do about it? I mean, I don't know. I guess just ignore them, but you wanna. That's just it. Is the more people are engaging with it, the better your videos are going to do. Yeah. I mean, like, I just did this series on like everything that's happening with the CWD cases in Buffalo County, and it hasn't been, I mean, by far not like the biggest videos that I've done, but just providing some insight, because I know like my taxidermist actually has land in Buffalo County, so I've been getting a lot of information from him about it all, and just trying to provide some context and asking some questions about it. Well, and then it's like, you know, most of the negative comments are kill the whole herd and watch the outfitters squirm, or like, you know, just stupid comments like that, or like me being a landowner in Buffalo County, and it's like, nowhere in here did I say that I was a landowner in Buffalo County. I'm not a landowner, first of all. And second of all, I don't hunt in Buffalo County. Okay, I'm just asking questions to try and figure out what's happening here. And there's so many comments that are like just so outrageous, and it's like, what are we doing here?
I think it's funny that like on this show, I feel like we spend half of our time talking about social media. Like, it has become such a big part of everyone's lives, and especially in the outdoor world. I was actually just listening to Gerald Swindle was on with Dave Mercer, and they talk a lot about that. And Gerald was talking about how like he basically credits focusing and learning social media on like, I don't want to say resurrecting his career, but like helping reinvent and stuff. And he was saying that like it was hilarious. He had said that like TikTok, he goes, I spent a year just watching TikToks before I ever posted anything, just trying to figure out like what it is, how it works, what's going on. He's like, then I get lucky, the first video I post gets like 1 million views. And like then it started clicking of like why it can be so important of like the views and what that means. But it's like everyone that is involved in the outdoors has to be on social.
You have to, right?
And think about the crap that like people like that put up with, professional anglers, your biggest like, you know, people in the hunting industry. You know, Michael Waddell, Waddell, or I always butcher to say the name wrong because I'm not a big hunting guy and follow that community. But like, you know, I can't imagine the crap that they hear or have to deal with.
Well, and
us
I think
normal people have to deal with.
Yeah, I think just a lot of the things, because they are a much higher profile, like the Drurys are a perfect example of that. Like Taylor Drury, you know, the second generation of the Drurys now that are, you know, very, very well known. I think she had 3 videos on TikTok, and the third video that she posted was this insane encounter with this gigantic elk, and it ended with like a transition, essentially. Like, I mean, the elk was within 5 feet of her, and she was drawn back on it with her bow. And I think that TikTok has changed quite a bit since this, because like there's a lot of people that post pictures of like shooting their bow or, you know, being out in the woods or whatever. But at that time, it was a big thing that they were trying to limit firearms or weapons. They still are. And she got like, it was something crazy. It was like in a day, she got like 10 million views or something like that. They banned her account, or they flagged her account, pulled the video. She's like, what did I even do wrong? So she just was like, okay, well then I'm just not going to engage with, I'll just keep posting on Instagram, or I'll keep posting everywhere else. But I don't know, man. I think it is such a huge part of our life now. Mm-hmm. And all of the brands that want to remain present, or all of the brands that are trying to gain recognition, they have to have that presence. I mean, because it's such an addictive thing, and it can be such a positive thing to engage with too. You know, I mean, you think about like all of the different things that we've come across, or that you and I personally have been able to engage with, and you know, just kind of using that for like a creative outlet, but then at the same time, I mean, look at all these other podcasts that we've connected with now and have started these friendships with these people. And it really can be a good thing, but you have to deal with that other crap.
And that's just it. Like, I want all of my stuff to be for the good, for just helping people, you know, because I feel like the story that I have is a story that a lot of people can relate to or may have experienced. And I talk about that, but the whole reason I started my YouTube channel, got into it, was the fact that, you know, I stepped away from hunting and fishing and didn't do any of it for like 3 years, you know, and even then was tapered off from what I used to be. And the whole trying to get back into something I haven't done in so long can be intimidating, can seem scary, especially when you have all that social influence out there. It makes it feel like if you're not this or doing the X, Y, or Z, then, you know, you're nobody. And it's like, oh, why should I even try? I can't, you know. But to encourage people to do that, just get out there, try new things, and fail. And suck, and it's okay. And I try and show that, and I always want to show that I'm always going to be uniquely who I am. I'm not playing a part, which is the other thing that Gerald Swindle was talking about on that podcast with Dave Mercer, was he was telling a story about a kid at a ramp. He's like, talking to this, guy at some thing, I think it was Gunnersville or whatever. And he's like talking normal, and suddenly the guy grabs his camera. He's like, hey, everybody, what's good? Turns to this character, and he's like, why are people doing that?
Oh, my
And I'm like,
gosh.
I hope that y'all see that I am not a character in any videos or anything I do. If you watch something on my YouTube channel or any socials, I am the same person right now. I am who I am.
Yeah.
Either you're going to like me or you don't like me, and that's fine, and not everybody's for everybody. Sometimes I'm a little out there. I'd say and do some weird things, I say y'all.
We're all
and
a
things.
little weird, right?
We're all uniquely different. We should celebrate the uniqueness of each other. Anyway, I want to get off the social media thing. We got something to talk about involving trail cameras.
Ooh.
Yeah, ears went up with Eric Tasker. This was actually a controversial thing that I had seen. Again, I came from social where I saw it, but I'm kind of curious your thoughts on this because it's a topic that we've discussed on the show having to do with trail cameras. I think at this point in this day and age, it's hard to find any hunter, specifically whitetail hunter, that doesn't use or have trail cameras somewhere. I'm one. You found one. I have 0 trail cameras. I don't do anything with trail cameras. I will maybe eventually. I'd be nice to have one, but I don't. And to have the time to go and put, and there's other things that I'm more focused and busy with. Y'all know how much I fish in kayak fishing and all that. I've put a lot of my focus in that stuff. But so you've got the old school style trail cameras where you put the card in and you set it and forget it, and you got to come back and pull a card and get photos. You don't know what's happening until you pull the card. Then obviously the cell cameras came in where you get the pictures that are sent right to you. Well, now there's live stream via the cell signal to live stream your cell cam at any time. You can check in and watch what's happening. I saw actually, was it Mark? Oh my gosh, last name for the media. No, Mark with the Meat Eater crew. Mark Kenyon. Yeah. Mark Kenyon posted, was talking about this and kind of doing like a live, and this is where it came to me, and I was like, okay, he's honest. This is an interesting topic because in the state of Wisconsin, I know you can't communicate with other hunters to say, oh, deer's coming your way, things like that. You can't use any communication device for that. So you texted your buddy, that's technically illegal. We've talked about that on the show and brought up trail cameras that send you pictures. What's the difference if your trail camera dings to you on your phone that, oh, there's a deer at trail camera right now, and you look and you know where that camera is, you know what direction the deer's coming, that's to tip you off the deer's coming towards you. Well, now with this, well, that's not to say you can't just put 2 trail cameras all around you. You've got live feeds, and now you've got live feed to watch how many miles, acres, whatever.
You could just do a circle around you, and then
in the woods.
Know when something's approaching.
So, ethics, is it good? Is it bad? Should they be banned?
Well, I would like to just say that I have 7 trail cameras, and that I think my favorite times of the year are doing card pulls.
See,
I think it's
you don't have cell cams, right, Eric?
Not cell cams. They're just regular, traditional trail cameras. Now, I guess, part of me wants every advantage that I can get. So that sounds like a great idea. The other part of me tells me I would never spend that much money on a trail camera anyways, so I probably would never use it. So that's like not really my wheelhouse. And then another part of me is saying, yeah, I would love to have that because that would be so great just to know that a deer is coming. Because as we've talked about, I don't have like a huge area around me where I know when deer are going to approach. So that would be super helpful for me.
Does it create an unfair advantage
Yes.
to those that have that? It creates an unfair advantage, you say?
Yes.
And I think I'd agree with that. But then again, on the flip side, because I'm always devil's advocate and want to argue the other side of things, it's the same argument that happened and took place with live scope and live imaging,
Yeah.
with active imaging. Does that create an unfair advantage? At this point in the fishing industry, no, because, I mean, as far as every professional angler has it. And, you know, fish are adjusting to it, and it's one of those things that, like, just because you can see a fish doesn't mean that fish is going to bite. Like, there's that as, like, you,
So
like I would say, you still got to
different
catch
then,
the fish.
right?
You still got to get that fish to bite. And I've heard a lot of, you know, anglers that use it a lot talk about it's almost more frustrating because you can see it and it daggone thing won't bite, you know.
Yeah, and I guess that's where it's different, you know, because you still got to get the fish to react, and you still got to be able to set the hook, and you still got to be able to reel it in and everything.
You still got to be able to draw. You still got to be able to, you know, the deer still has to come
But
in
if
front
it's
of you.
firearm season, I mean, that deer is dead most of the time, you know, unless you're me. Okay, let's just.
You're better with your bow than you are with a rifle,
Yes.
and you've admitted it, and that's fine.
So that, I think, is, I guess, the main difference because, you know, I mean, as long as your rifle's sighted in it and you feel good about it, during gun season, that's probably the most unfair advantage that you can have because if you know that deer is coming from the northeast and it just walked by your trail camera that's 50 yards out of you, you know you got to stand up and you got to be ready because it's walking right towards you. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it is an unfair advantage, but where would they end up drawing the line then? Because you can, you know, with cell cameras, you can get video from that too, and it's an instantaneous thing that if you're, say, okay, so it's not a live feed, so say it's 150 yards outside of your view. You see that deer is walking down the trail right towards you, and you get a text message saying, video incoming, you know, and it's a 10-second video. You see the deer's walking to you. I mean, that's not that much different, is it? I mean, talking specifically about a real-time situation in the woods, I don't see it being that different from video that you're getting immediately after it takes the video. Is that fair?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I love slippery slopes. This is the slippery slope that we're sliding because if that's the case, which trail cameras are fine, they are legal. There's nothing that says you can't use video trail. It's right. Completely legal. However, texting, calling, radio communicating, any sort of info like that amongst a hunting party is illegal. Is it time that law just has to go at this point? Because you can't,
which law? The trail cameras or the
the trail camera's not a law. That's what I'm saying. Trail camera's not a law. That's not in the books.
Right.
The one that's on the books is the communication, using a communication device.
Yeah.
So is it time to just axe that,
I
or
would say,
that a trail camera is the same thing as that? So like, why can you have one but you can't have the other? That's where
because in a roundabout way, it's really the same thing.
It's the exact same thing. I don't see how it's not the exact same thing. And I would almost argue that the trail camera thing is more unfair than communicated because someone communicated to you still have to have two people in communication with each other.
Right.
This is a robot, essentially. This is a nothing communicating with you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I guess I would just say, yeah, I would be fine with it. I don't know.
I don't know where I sit on it. I just wanted to bring up the thought of it because it is a topic. It is something that's interesting. It's something to be discussed and something to be talked about.
Yeah.
You know, do we just get rid of the communication thing? Like
I
think that's the
I would
easiest
lean
solution.
more on that side than obviously getting rid of a live stream trail camera. Getting rid of the communication side of it than getting rid of the live stream.
We've talked about it in the past. I mentioned, even just having cell phones sending you videos, that's the same thing as a communication device. So, take away the live stream even and just go to your standard cell cams that send you everything in real time. To me, that's the same as a friend sending you a text message. Your friend's just a robot parked in a tree instead of an actual living, breathing human body.
Right. I thought it's interesting. I didn't see that come out, but I did see that Moultrie came out with a camera that has some sort of AI built into it. Whether it's actually in the camera or it's in the software of it, I'm not really sure. But you can actually set your trail camera to what kind of game you're trying to take pictures of, and it will weed everything else out. So if you only want pictures of, I might be wrong on this. I think you can even set it to be gender specific. Like if you only want pictures of bucks and you don't want any does on your camera. That's
a tricky one to do. I don't care any AI. How are you getting? Think about the numbers and stuff like that you think is a doe.
Yeah, so then you just wouldn't get those, I would assume. But I know that there was a setting for bear, coyotes, deer, turkey. There was 8 to 10 different settings, and it would just weed out all of the other pictures that you don't want or that you're not expecting for that specific game. So that's really interesting. It's technology, right? It continues to advance, and these things just get smarter and smarter and smarter. And you just think about all of the different things that have come up with, how great cell phones are now, and just all of the different things you can do with that. And I don't know how they do it, but there's got to be some sort of an AI built into it that, I don't know. It's interesting to me because I guess who's getting that many pictures? It's not like I even run that big of memory cards, and my one camera had 7,000 pictures on it last year because we put them out in March and we let them run through the whole season. Well, I don't even run that big of cards, maybe 32 gigs. I think we did 32 gig.
Your card will probably outlast your battery.
Oh, without
you know what I mean?
doubt.
So that's where, to me, what kind of battery system or whatever do you have to have rigged on one of these cameras that's going to weed out photos and all? Because it's still taking power to go through. It's still taking the photo, then has to process it. To me, that's going to use more and take up more power, more energy than just something that goes picture.
Then you got to run the solar panels on them. You just have to. There's no other way. Otherwise, you'll be out there constantly replacing batteries, and that's not fun either. Especially for us, where it's 3.5 hours away. There's no way we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I like to see it though. I like to see the different things that are coming out because that's what people are going to these shows for. Is what is that cool new thing that is coming out and. I don't know.
Latitude Outdoors, by the way, is the one that is making the sale to me from ATA last weekend.
Yeah, because they've got the carbon sticks.
With their new sticks. And I've been watching Latitude for a long time since they first were nobodies, and then a random Instagram ad popped across 2.5 years ago or whatever. Yeah. Because I've been saying eventually I'm going to get into saddle hunting. I'm going to hunt from a saddle instead of my hang on stand because I hunt the same way. It's just instead of hanging. I hang a tree and I stand and I sit in the Hawk Ultralight that I have. It's a super small. There's not I could basically use the platform of the stand as a saddle platform. It's that. Right. It's small, it's compact, it's light, all that stuff. But when I saw these carbon sticks and how light they were, to go with their saddle stuff, I'm like, oh man.
Did you
take my money?
The attachments on the tree? How it attaches to the tree?
Yeah, it's super easy. Just using it looks like
it's some special.
It's just standard am steel. So it's just a rope am steel, and it comes around, and they've got a little butterfly, I'll call it, built right in the front of the stick to loop around. Which so I use the daisy chain, which is essentially the same thing. I just wrap around, and pull it tight, and then go around the little knob that's in the front of my stick, and then pull it and set it tight.
Right.
And so this is just wrapping around instead of having that knob. You kind of create your own little loop essentially on that little butterfly, as I call it, in the front of it, but.
Yeah.
Cool sticks. Look super light. Look awesome. That's probably the one product that stood out to me. I was like, man.
Wasn't that the innovation of the year or the product of the year or whatever?
I didn't go into. I just saw it come out and I'm like, man, that's
because I did get that.
I know our friends at Okayest Hunter. They're involved. Got involved with Latitude. So Yeah, we'll have to talk more about that with them because I know we're going to be on their show coming up here Valentine's night, so February 14th. You want to check out the Okayest Hunter. They live stream their podcast on their YouTube channel and through their socials. So if you don't follow Okayest_Hunter, Okayest Hunter, we're going to make an appearance on their show live on Valentine's Day night, which shows just how important Valentine's Day is to me. It's not a thing.
And to me.
No.
I mean, I did ask my wife if that was okay before I confirmed and said, yes, this works. But it's like, we're not going to go out on a Tuesday night anyways. If we were to do something, we would just go out for dinner the weekend before. But either way, irrelevant.
So, check out for that. We've got Scott Gagliano, the dog tracker that came out with me and helped me track the buck that I never recovered. Scott's going to be on with us. Is it next week already? Yeah, Scott's going to be with us next week. And then we've got a waterfowl hunter from the western part of the state going to join us week after. So we got a whole gamut of a lot of cool shows.
We got a lot
planned.
of stuff coming up.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff.
Mean, I don't know, warmer weather for sure, which is nice. Not here locally, but, international.
We mentioned Canada as well earlier, talking about our trip to Ballard's Black Island is opened. It's all set to go. You can book your spot. There's only 20 spots on it. August 19th to the 24th. You've been there in August. The weather's fantastic. I think the fishing's
really lucky.
Fishing's going to be better this year than it was last year. As we talked about the high water situation. As long as they don't have the same situation going on throughout this spring with the super high water and the storms and all that, it's going to be even better fishing, and I think it's going to be awesome next year. So if you ever wanted to go fish Canada, this is all-inclusive, fully guided. You don't have to worry about it. So again, you just go to blackisland.com. You click on trips, and you see Sean Ritter there. Just click on that, and that's our trip to get in and just get a hold of Gary or Danielle or whoever it's going to be at Ballard's. No matter where you are, I invite you to join us in Canada, do some awesome fishing, some smallmouth slaying, some muskie mashing, get a little slime time, whatever you choose to do.
We got all of that.
We did get all of that. We did. Well, I didn't personally catch a muskie.
Our boat did, though.
Our boat did catch a muskie, yes. Yeah, which there wasn't a whole lot of skis caught that week either. It was,
no.
And I think the muskies were dealing with what the smallmouth was. The high water had things shifted to different places. Pike were even tougher to come by than they typically were in the past. I mean,
we
usually
did snag a few of those, though. So, I mean, I guess not snag, but we did catch a few of those. As we're talking about this and you just bring up the high water again, it always amazes me every time as I'm kind of going through everything for our social campaign that we're doing with them. And every time I see the famous, like from a boat looking at Ballard's Black Island, the sign, the cabins, the rock shore, it
was non-existent last year.
It's so weird to me every time I look at those because I don't know Ballard's for that because the water was like 5 feet up. It was insane.
Cabin that we stayed in on the island 2 weeks prior, the entire porch, the patio, the porch of that island was water. There was water right up to the top, right to that porch.
Yeah, it's just...
Now, normally, there's a ton of rock shore off of that porch. I was fishing off the porch. Remember, I was standing on the porch like a boat
and
casting.
And not really even having to cast. No. I mean, you could have just put the rod off the edge of the pier or the porch. And
where I was throwing my bait when I would cast out, 30 yards or so, my bait, go to the bottom, was probably about 12 foot deep at least at that spot. Like, that just shows how high
it was wild.
The water came up last year. So this year, let's hope it's not high water. Fishing's going to be so much better. And again, if not, the meals.
It was still amazing.
The camaraderie. It's an awesome time. So book your spot, Ballard's. And that's where we're going to wrap for this week. We'll catch you next week. Don't forget to follow us on our socials, @On The Tailgate. Thanks to our sponsors as well, Buck Herb Outfitters and Bunzels. For Tasker and Wags, who's not here, I'm Ritter. This is Tailgate Talk.